all weekend, because this is all like, I have nothing to talk to you about. I have no slides, I have no like sound effects or anything. This is literally a panel that you guys are running, because I prepared absolutely, and I mean that sincerely, nothing. So this is your chance to just fire off whatever questions you want about me, my career, voice acting, whatever, it doesn't really matter. So I hope you guys brought some questions, since this is called a Q&A panel. That's how it is on the schedule, right?
Yeah.
It literally says Q&A panel. Does anybody here have no idea who I am and you just wandered into a room? Okay.
I saw Starfield and it was like, all right, let's have a chat.
There you go. Wow, Starfield. Okay, cool. Well, the floor is yours then, guys. I'm just going to start, like, raise the hands and I'll point at people. I'm not going to use a microphone unless you have very low faith in my ability to hit the back of the room. Can you hear me back there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. So what's up? What's on your mind, guys? Yeah?
So I'm actually enrolled in your voice acting course.
Slick.
I've only gotten to the DAW part of the thing,
DAW is digital audio workstation. It's software you use to record audio.
but you talk a lot about having the physical interface, like that little box. I don't have one because I have the Beacon mic. It's got a built-in preamp with the mixing suite in it. Do I still need the physical box? And because I have the DAW downloaded already, so I just need to know, do I need anything else? Because it's a USB dynamic mic. Is that going to work for what?
So a lot of voice actors poo-poo like USB mics, just in general. They think that like you need an XLR mic going into an interface, going into a computer, and that's definitely what I will recommend. And you will outgrow that USB mic quickly. But the number one concern, the literally only question is, does it sound good? Right? Like, so if you get a sound that's good coming out, it sounds broadcast quality, you're set. Don't worry about it. But you will eventually, like, as your tastes improve, you'll go, oh, there's something weird about this. And then you'll go out and buy a couple different microphones and shoot them all out, and then, you know, you'll figure it out. It's like it's an acquired taste.
I spent like $500 on the microphone like 2 years ago, and I was like, hey, that was pretty.
USB mics can sound really good. It's not, you know, if it works, it works. The only quality that you need to be concerned about is, does it sound good? And if it doesn't, then, you know, there are plenty of XLR mics that sound like garbage. So fire them off, guys. Yeah.
I guess it's pretty generic, but like, which character was your favorite to voice?
So, which character was my favorite to voice is the question. I'll try to repeat that back so you guys can hear. My favorite character to voice, man, they all have like different things about them that are really fun. My favorite job was probably Lego City Adventures, which is like, has anybody in here seen the show? Okay, a couple people. It's not like quite this age group. It used to come on like right after SpongeBob on Nickelodeon's on Sundays. And the reason I liked the job itself was the character was funny. He was Duke Detain. He was like this cop that was really dumb. Like that was sort of his thing. But it was cool because it was the only time I've ever gotten to do an ensemble recording. If you don't know, in the voice acting industry, we mostly are recording by ourselves. Like we're really just like crazy people in a room by ourselves. You know, there might be a director on the other side of the glass, or we might be at home. But in ensemble recording, which is the way they used to do it, you're literally like in a horseshoe where there's 12 microphones and 12 actors all doing all the lines from the show at the same time. It has some really awesome effects on how you perform as an actor. But the other part was, when I walked into that show, it was the voice of Johnny Bravo, the voice of the Hulk, the voice of Captain America, and Ezio. Like all these people are in the room, and then there's like me. I'd been in LA for like a year. And I was like, did you guys hire the right guy? So basically I got to steal from all these people and watch them work for 4 years. It was awesome. So it's probably my favorite job. And he's a great character, so yeah. What else you got? Yeah.
Have you gotten to use your skills as a musician in your voice acting career at all? Like, is there like a lot of overlap? Like,
Is there overlap?
Is there any overlap? Like,
Is there any overlap between musician skills and voice acting?
Yeah.
I can think of a couple situations where, like, directly they've asked me to do something music related, where like maybe I've had to sing like a small ditty or something like that, which is weird because I'm like not a trained singer at all. Instrumentally, no, but on like a surrogate skill level, I would say that my musicianship makes anime super easy because I can listen to a string or any kind of like ADR, dialogue replacement in cutscenes where you're dubbing over something. I can listen to any block of sound and have a sense of like how that exists in time. And then I almost always hit my time, like every single time. So like anime becomes easier for me in the booth, as is like any kind of cutscene work where I have to go over it. But not quite, like no one's ever asked me like, hey, we happen to be looking for a saxophone player who's also a voice actor. That's never happened. But I'm waiting for it, right? I'm sure there's time. Yeah?
What was the role that you had the hardest time getting into?
The role that I had the hardest time getting into. These are good questions. I never thought of it. I'm trying to think of like what was a tough one to drop into. Vocally, I did an episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures as Oingo, or like they changed his name to Zendata or Mondata or something like that. I recorded the whole episode twice. That was difficult to get into because for whatever reason they auto cast me. I didn't audition, and I came in and tried to like he's this massive dude, and like I'm not a massive dude. I don't have like the Fred Tatasciore like big giant voice, and so it was really hard for me. Like I found the voice, it wasn't hard to get into it, but it was hard to sustain it, and I really kind of like hurt myself. I couldn't work for it. That was like the one big mistake I ever made in picking a character voice. But now I'm getting a different memory here. I got fired in the booth once. Like the casting director was like, "This is just not working," and I was like, "It is absolutely not. Thank you so much." Like and it was for the show. This is so long ago. I feel like I can talk about it. I think it was called Be the Beginning. Is that a show? Like, is that a real thing? Anyway, it was an anime, and the audition had this particular guy, like very cool and calm, just like this all the time, right? And so that's what I did in the audition. They loved it, and then they brought me in the booth, and he was all like super dynamic, and they were like, "We want you to take that voice and make it loud." And I was like, "It's not gonna happen. Like, it's not gonna happen." And so we got like halfway through the first episode, and they were like, "We're gonna switch you to a different character. We'll bring someone else in for this." And then they brought Johnny Young Bosch in, who just sounds like me, right? Like, it completely changed the whole character. I was like, okay, whatever. If I gotta lose a role, I'm cool with losing it to Johnny. Yeah.
I feel like you're really well cast in the role of Risley because like I hear a lot of your natural voice in his voice. When a character is like already kind of sounds similar to how you just naturally speak, how do you feel like you get in character?
When you say when a character already sounds like the way I naturally speak,
like, the character voice isn't so dissimilar from how you like are already talking here.
So this is a thing that I teach a lot to my students, in that the voice never ever ever makes the character, right? Like the way you sound may add, like the way you sound personally may add some dimension to your personality. Like it may be associated with your personality, but it really has absolutely nothing to do with the way the voice sounds. Now that being said, like Jason Statham on Helium is not Jason Statham anymore, but Jason Statham, his voice, like he could change his voice and still be a rough and tumble, like East London, from the streets kind of guy. So it really is about perspective. The choices you make in acting are 100% about perspective and not about a voice. And I find that a lot of students, and even like working actors that try to come into the booth and they're like, well, this is the voice. And I'm like, okay, cool, but who is that? So for Risley, it became about, like, sure, his voice sits generally lower. Like I keep it very relaxed, and it stays there because he's very relaxed. And it is about his perspective of like, I work in a prison, but I have to keep it kind of cool, right? I have to keep it cool. So that's really about, because a lot of my bigger characters, like Fox and Claude and Risley, like they're all pretty much the same voice. And it's really about altering the perspective. Like those are all really different people. So it has a lot less to do with the voice than you really think.
It's very insightful, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there a role out there where you auditioned for it but you didn't get it, and after seeing it be released, you're thinking, oh man, I wish I really got that role because you ended up liking it a lot?
As far as like the question was, are there any roles that I auditioned for, didn't get, and then when it came out was like, oh man, I really wish I'd gotten it? Yes, all of them. But for the most part, when you hear, I'll give you an example, right? It was one of the first roles I ever auditioned for in the animation sphere when I got to LA was actually Trevor Belmont in Castlevania.
I know I'll never be the same. Shook my world so hard again. Wish I washed away my sins. He's a dead man walking, blank stare in his eyes. Should've given up on the ones I trust. Never should've been surprised when they shot him down. Cold blood to the ground.